Hey, Luca, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, good. Okay, because we tried before and it wouldn't work. Anyway, I thought I would log on and say hi to everyone. I'm in California where we've been asked to stay at home, except to go for a walk, or non-essential things are no longer allowed. So I figured I'd just log on, say hi to everybody, answer some questions, see how everybody's doing. And yeah, just checking everybody's well-being. So if you have any questions, oh, hey, Rosie. Hey, Effie. What do you got? I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Hello. Hi, Ryan. I'm well, I'm healthy, thank you for asking. My family is all well. We're all being super careful and cautious and doing everything that the CDC has recommended. We're washing our hands a lot. Don't forget to use moisturizer as well, because cracked hands make us more susceptible to the virus, believe it or not. So wash your hands, use moisturizer. I have to say, obviously a lot of time to think and catch up. My team has been incredible. It's been able to see them. Oh, hey, Ralph. It's been able to see my team sort of rally together, and we're nothing sparks innovation like a crisis. And I think this is an opportunity for an existential flex, which I've written about in The Infinite Game, where you make dramatic shift instead of doubling down on old business models and panicking, saying, okay, how can we bring our cause to life in this? This is really a time for an infinite mindset, and it's really kind of been amazing watching some companies have a finite mindset and some companies have an infinite mindset. Perfect example of finite mindset is the cruise industry. Big cruise ships, like why are there still cruises going? I don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to anybody in the cruise industry. I hope I'm wrong, but I hope they didn't get together and say, we're going to lose too much money. Let's just keep it going until we're told to shut down, which is a finite mindset. An infinite mindset is any organization that's trying to be ahead of the curve, that says, in the long run, we're going to hurt in the short term. Our people are going to come together. We're going to solve this problem. But in the long run, we're going to be better off for it. And more important, we're going to do good for others. This is a time for us not just to think about ourselves, but to think about the impact we have on others. That's what this coronavirus is all about. I've heard some people say more people die from car accidents, but we haven't stopped driving. Yeah, but one car accident doesn't exponentially create more car accidents. I love you too, Lauren. And so this is really a test of our empathy. It's our test of our ability to think of ourselves and our own safety. We absolutely have to do that, but also to think of the impact we have on others. For example, we still are allowed to go to the supermarket. Oh, hello in Italy. I hope you're well. We're still allowed to go to the supermarket, but are we practicing social distancing at the supermarket? Are two people going after the same thing, or is one sort of stepping back? This is what it means to sort of think about others. So, hello from South Africa. Hello from Amsterdam. I love this. The other thing that I found that I'm doing is I'm doing things that have been on the back burner for a long time. There's sort of a silent blessing in this that I've, as busy as I still am, I found some calm to be able to just catch up on stuff that I wanted to do, a book that I wanted to read. Oh, which reminds me, and there'll be more information on this. I'll make a formal announcement on Monday, but it's in my head now. I'm going to do a book club. Start With Why is 10 years old. I haven't read it in probably 8 years. And so I figured, how nice would it be? I love book clubs because it brings people together. If we were able to do a book club together. So I'll talk about it more on Monday. But if you have at least one friend that you want to read Start With Why with them, discuss the book yourselves chapter by chapter, and then every week we'll get together and you can ask me your questions from your book club. But I really want people to do it as a book club, not alone. So have at least one friend or somebody in the house, or do it virtually. Do a FaceTime video or WhatsApp video or something. get together. But more details of that on Monday. If you want to read, start with Why with me. I'm going to do it section by section. We'll do it for like 6 weeks. We'll meet every Friday and talk. So yes, we're going to do a book club together. And yes, we'll put it all online and we'll put it all on YouTube and good stuff like that. I think the society is far from, this is a question I got, far from an infinite mindset. No toilet paper left in supermarkets in Sweden, at least. That's a weird thing that everybody made a run for toilet paper. But yeah, we have no toilet paper here either. But they'll get that back. They'll get that back in line. What other questions do you have? Happy to answer anything. Can you give some tips to startups with a small idea with big goals? Well, I mean, I love the passion. If you have first of all, what is your goal? Is your goal about yourselves or is your goal about improving society? If you have a startup and your goal is to be the biggest company or $1 billion business, then, I'm not sure I'm the right person to ask for advice. But if you have an idea, a vision of a world that you want to create and you believe that your product, your idea can help advance that vision, those are the kinds of startups I love. So I'll just use me as an example. I have a vision. I want to create a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired, feel safe at work, and return home fulfilled at the end of the day. I believe that the things that I do, the books I write, the talks I give, even the book club that we're going to start, all of the things that we're doing help contribute towards building that world. We don't think we're the only ones doing it, but we're like to help advance it. So if you're starting a business, try and think of a vision of the world that you can imagine and how you believe your product, service can help contribute to that. And sometimes it's the culture you're building. So for example, Bob Chapman from Barry Waymiller, his company makes large machines, but his vision is to create a world in which everyone matters and to build extraordinary people who do extraordinary things. So it's really in the culture of his company that he's doing that more than anything else. What other questions? A lot of questions about startups. Thank you, McVentura. I appreciate that. Hello, Brazil. Lots from Brazil today. I like this. Can you define inspire? So sure. I think to motivate is versus inspiration. Motivation can be external. So you can motivate people with the threat of punishment or the promise of bounty. People who are self-motivated want to get things done, get things made. It tends to be a little more dopamine driven, a little more short term. It's hard to stay motivated for 2 years. I think motivation tends to be more short term, more finite, more dopamine driven. Inspiration is like a flame that burns within. It tends to be more infinite. It tends to be more ongoing. Sometimes you can be unmotivated but still inspired. You can also be motivated and uninspired. And I think people who are motivated but uninspired, they get to the point where, they start asking themselves, what's this all worth? Like, I'm making money and I've got a good job, but, I don't feel it. Inspiration without a motivation, also, it's all fine and good to be inspired, but you got to get things done. I think they work hand in hand, but I think we need more inspiration. We need that fire that burns, and that's the stuff that comes from the just cause, the vision, built on a foundation of why. All of that stuff is built to inspire us. So I think that's what inspiration is and where it comes from. I think it's more infinite and more about what we believe. So somebody says they work in a hospital right now. Can I give some example of what you would do for helping staff and managers? It's in those situations, and thank you for going to work. I know that you guys are on the front lines. Sometimes it's just as easy as asking somebody, are you okay? How you doing? And genuinely caring about the answer. My friend George Flynn always says, his test for leadership is you ask someone how they are and you actually care about the answer. So if you're walking around the hospital, if you're working in a hospital right now, checking in on the other doctors, nurses, and staff and just stopping them and looking them in the eye and saying, hey, you good? How are you? It does an amazing thing for a human being to know that another human being cares about their well-being. And sometimes even if we can't do anything about it, just have someone hear us. So if somebody says, I'm having a hard day, and there's nothing we can really do about it, just to say, I hear you, man, it sucks. Just like to empathize with someone. It does a wonderful, wonderful thing. Somebody asked me, hey Simon, I'm a 52-year-old regular human who would love to inspire those around me toward being more positive. Some days I feel defeated. Do you ever feel that way? First of all, I like how you're saying you're a regular human. I think we're all regular humans. Of course, there are some days that I'm deflated, and what do I do? And how do we do it? Is got to be with others. One of the things I've gotten good at over the years, and it took a lot of practice and sort of getting over myself, which is when I'm feeling defeated or I feel pessimistic, is to call somebody up and tell them that, and saying I'm having a slow day or I'm having a down day. Sometimes they can say something that will remind me why I need to keep doing what I'm doing. And sometimes it's just nice to have somebody listen. And I don't do it on text. I do it on a call, or I, go see someone, a friend or a family member. And it's amazing how quickly I can snap out of it just by talking about it with somebody who I know cares about me and cares about the vision. At the same time, if I'm honest, a lot of the emails and letters I get from you guys, keeps me going. I mean, some of the stories of why the work that we do matters. I'm just so proud to be with you and working on this vision together. Somebody asked me, is it Chamakite or Kamakite? How about realistic versus pessimism? So what is realism versus pessimism? I don't know why they're equated so often. I think being realistic and being pessimistic are not the same thing. Being pessimistic means somebody who believes that things tend towards the worse. I'm an optimist. I believe things tend towards the better, tend towards the good. I believe ultimately good will triumph over anything else. Pessimists believe ultimately all the bad things will happen. And the irony is, if you're an optimist, you tend to find it. When you're a pessimist, you tend to find it. I think a realist is somebody who just looks at the facts as they are and operates within. I'm an optimistic realist. I talk about this vision that I have of the vast majority of waking up every single day inspired, feeling safe, and returning home fulfilled. But I'm a realist. I know that will never, ever, ever happen. Of course. But I will die trying. That's the point. And it's the milestones that we pass and working together and the improvements that we make and the changes in the business models that ultimately inspire me to keep trying. So I don't think realism and pessimism are synonymous. And when someone's a pessimist and they say, I'm just a realist, that's bullshit. Maybe they're just a pessimist. Because I can see the same facts that they see and be optimistic about them. Like right now. I mean, there's a lot of cause to be concerned. There's a lot of cause. I'm very, very afraid for people who, hourly workers, and for what's going to happen in the short term. And I think we have to look after them. I'm hoping we start donating food and making sure that they're okay. But there's optimism in this as well. I think that this is the biggest wake-up call we can get to be prepared for the next time something happens that's even worse. I think it's the biggest opportunity for us to recognize the importance of personal relationships and taking care of each other and actually making phone calls and doing FaceTimes and actually seeing each other and shaking hands and giving each other a hug. Like how much human beings matter in our lives, that we can't just be a text-based society. So, I think there's a lot of good that will ultimately come out of this. I think hopefully our governments and our will be better prepared for this to happen in the future, if it happens again in the future, which it probably will. And for us to recognize how important we are to each other and to even have backup plans ourselves, that we can't always just live day to day, but, having things like savings and making sure that we have an emergency plan, kind of stuff like that. All right, just wanted to pop on and say hi. I'll probably do it again soon. And stay tuned on Monday. We'll make announcements for the book club with all the details, because I don't know all the details yet. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And take care of yourselves and take care of each other and be safe. Talk to you soon.